wait. So I just want to say thank you to the main people who would have really pulled out all the stops to make sure that June came off.
Amen. Thank you. Anyone else has any comments that we could use to help improve our program next year? No one? All right. Well, if there's no one else, we want to thank you for your feedback. And before we finish off the program, we're going to have one more item of special music by Brother Dominic Merritt. So we're just going to ask him to come forward again as he gives us another lovely item of music.
Good evening again. I'll be ministering the same song that I ministered last week. I need to be very straightforward with people, but this time around, I have the lyrics with me. So you'll be blessed by the true lyrics of this song. Jesus hears. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. At the end of broken dreams, He's the open door. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize that people need the Lord? We are called to take His light to a world where wrong seems right. What could be so great a cause for sharing life with those who are lost? So through His love, our hearts can feel all the grief that they bear. They must hear the words of life that only we can share. People need the Lord. People need the the Lord at the end of broken dreams. He's the open door. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize that we must give our lives for people need the Lord. People need the Lord.
Thank you, Dominic. And now, before we close the program officially, I just want to say thank you to lots of people. First of all, the church board for authorizing this initiative, and for the church body in general for supporting us so greatly. We really thank you for that. You really came along with all our programs, even when you might not have been so sure about it. You still came along with us and tried your best to help us along the way. I also want to thank the rest of my committee. People keep saying Kent, but it was really my committee. In particular, the Sabbath School Secretary, Kenisha, Sabbath School Superintendent, Kenisha worked extremely hard. My backup AOI leader, Kobe. And of course, the Family Life Director, who did a lot of work as well. We want to really thank you guys, as well as the rest of the committee, and of course the Education Secretary, who was willing to do everything we asked, and the head deaconess, Allison. We thank all of you for all of your contributions, and this is really an exercise to show that the church can carry on, that the baton can be passed, and that we are doing something to groom the future leaders of the church. So we want to thank all of you for your participation and for all of the work that you put in. Now, our theme for the month was about discipleship. Today in particular this month was Transform Our Discipleship, and today was Discipleship in the 21st Century. So I just want to read something very short for you before we go. Mark chapter 3, verse 14 says, Jesus appointed 12 that they might go with him and that he might send them out to preach. Because I am not a fix-it kind of guy, I had to call a friend who is a great handyman to make some repairs in my house recently. He came over and I gave him my list. But to my surprise, he told me that I would be doing the repairs myself. He modeled for me how to do it, instructed me along the way, and stayed with me. I followed his example and successfully made the repairs. This modeling seems close to what Jesus did when he called his first disciples. When Jesus called those men to follow him, he wanted them to be with him and to teach them the good news of the kingdom of God. The first job would require being under the immediate supervision of Jesus, learning his words and interpretation of the scriptures and watching his behavior. For the second task, Jesus sent them out to preach, saying what he said and doing what he did. As they carried out their task, They were to be dependent on Jesus. Today, Jesus is calling his followers to this simple yet powerful process of discipleship. Being with him, following his instructions, and living his example. Are you one who is dependent on him as you are following him today? And as I was reading this devotion, it occurred to me that just like the handyman came and he could have done the job himself, Jesus is fully 100% capable of doing everything that he asks us to do. But he wants us to see his example and follow it for our own benefit, not his, or not to solve the problem because he is capable of doing that himself. But he wants us to become disciples because it will help us to grow spiritually, help us to grow as people. I'm just going to ask everyone to stand now. We're going to sing number 422 as our closing hymn, Marching to Zion. Come we that love the Lord, and let our joys be known. Join in a song with sweet accord, join in a song with sweet accord, and thus surround the throne, and thus surround the throne. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to heavenly Zion, that beautiful city of God. Let those refuse to sing who never knew our God, but children of the heavenly King, but children of the heavenly King may speak their joys abroad, may speak their joys abroad. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to heavenly Zion, that beautiful city of God. The hills of Zion yields 1,000 sacred sweets. Before we reach the heavenly fields, before we reach the heavenly fields, our walk the golden streets, our walk the golden streets. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to heavenly Zion, that beautiful city of God. Let then our songs abound, and every tear be dry. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground. We're marching through Emmanuel's ground to fairer worlds on high, to fairer worlds on high. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to heavenly Zion, that beautiful city of God. We're now going to ask